Hey, what's up, Pokemon trainers? Gamer Dummy here with what I think will be a very exciting video for all you shiny Pokemon lovers out there. This video specifically pertains to Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen ports on the Switch 1 and Switch 2. I want to give a disclaimer, however, that I tried this on my Switch OLED Switch and it did not work. So for those of you out there who do not have a Switch 2, unfortunately, this method may not work for you. The method in question is RNG manipulation. I discovered this while watching a video by Blissey and also a live stream by Papa Hefe, who are both prominent Pokemon figures out there in the streamer realm, I should say. Yeah, streamer realm. Um, it's always fun watching their videos. And the other day, maybe like a week ago, Blissey put out the video for guaranteed shiny starters and FireRed and LeafGreen on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 without hacks. So I watched that video and thought it was really cool how he was able to match up their, I think they go by they them pronouns, match up their button presses to the continuing frames, the advances, and the seed checking. It's like 3 button presses that you have to do in a perfect time frame in order to get the shiny. I do not have that skill. I tried it like all day yesterday, and I just was not doing too well at it. Um, I was getting close enough to my seeds, but I never hit that target seed that you need to actually check to see if the Pokemon is shiny, which is very frustrating. And then I remembered, oh, macros exist. CA, we use macros to find shinies all the time. And so I wondered if I could find a macro for FireRed and LeafGreen on the Switch now. Was not able to really find any that were of utility to me, except for this one self reset one, but it seemed to only work half the time, and so I stopped using it. Um, so I ended up creating my own macro for this, and I'm hoping that we can get a shiny out of it. And so I wanted to record it and put it online for you guys to watch me do it. And maybe if you like it, you can like and subscribe and give it a try yourself. So without further ado, what you're going to need is EonTimer, which you can see on the right of the screen here. You're also going to need the 10 lines website that I have on the left side here. I am using the 8BitDo Pro 3 controller. That's just what I'm going to be using my macros for. You can see it in the background there. I just connected it to my MacBook. And that's about it. Oh, and of course you need your Switch with their copy of LeafGreen and FireRed on it. Now, so to get started, what you're going to want to do is, I already have it, I'm continuing this from kind of where Blissey leaves off their video, assuming you've done everything to kind of set up your secret ID and you're ready to just do your checks now, basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the macro that I have set up here so you can see what's going on. So sometimes when you open up the 8BitDo software, you won't see anything show up here. Just keep clicking on macro till it shows up like that. And then if you have more than one and you're ever confused about which one you're looking for, just click on whatever macro you have set here and it'll highlight itself. So this is what we're looking for. I did a couple checks already. This is my next check. I'm hoping it's shiny. I didn't want to make this video too long, so I've been re-recording each check so that I can show you guys how to do this process. And so everything you see here is exactly what you want to keep it as, except for 2 things. There's the second number, and then there's the 4th number. You want to keep everything the same except for those 2. Those are going to change. Now, where do we get these numbers from? So, in 10 lines, when you're going in, hopefully you can see this. If not, you're going to have to probably zoom in on your screen, pause it, and take a zoom in. So we start with I kind of have it already set up for what I wanted to do. So this is my target seed, 66 C6, and I chose, so if I open this up again, 1203, 1423, I'm widening the scope for you guys to take a peek at this baseline. So as you can see here, so my secret ID is going to be 23,881, or potential secret ID at least. And then my trainer ID is to the left there. I've got my seeds at plus or minus 10 just to narrow everything down. And so these are the shinies I'm looking for. Why are they all male? And why are there only like 5 of these? Did I do something? Let's see. Oh, I think it's because I have the seed set to plus or minus 20. So there we go. Now we have more. Narrowing that seed range down gives you more narrow options. And so say this is my trainer, or say this is my secret ID. Basically, all of these have the potential to be shiny. All of these. And so it's just a matter of picking out which one you want. I'm thinking, let's see, we got some decent IV spreads here. Let's see. If there's any females on this list, looks like there's one. And she's got decent defense and special defense. Sorry, defense and special attack. Oh, and special defense as well. But she's relaxed, which is not a stat that I'm particularly, or not a nature I'm particularly fond of for Bulbasaurs. Relax, I believe, up special defense. No, ups defense but lowers speed. My current C is 66 C6, so we're gonna go with that one because it's got. So the way this works is you're gonna use your continuous screen frames. You're gonna take it. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna copy this here, and then you're gonna paste it someplace else. I'm gonna paste it into my Notes app, which I don't have attached to OBS right now. And you're gonna want to take the continuing screen frames. What you want to do there is you want to paste them into an EonTimer here, put it in your advances, or put it under advances, and then the number up top you'll see will convert your advances into milliseconds. So 1892, 1892 is what you're going to get for milliseconds. After you get that number, you're going to want to subtract 492 from it. And after you get that number, you want to put it into your 8-bit DOE software. I've already done my calculation here. You're going to have to tweak it a bit for what you want to find, but basically, one second. Yeah, you're going to want to tweak it for whatever you can find. So yeah, you take this number, and why do you subtract 492 from it? That's just what I've been doing, and it gets me closest to the range. So maybe like 400 to 500 you want to subtract from the number that you're getting. So and then you paste it into your 8-bit DOE software. That kind of gets you close to the actual advances you'll need, because there's a bit of a conversion difference between the macro and what's actually being happening in real life, especially with the processing of the system and everything. So you have to you're playing a guessing game basically. And so what I ended up putting in for this is, after I did some calculations, I put in 1303. Well, let's see, 1892 minus 500 is 1392. And then for back to the 10 lines, your next to your seed, my seed is 66C6. You want to copy that number next to it in milliseconds. That is going to be the second number here in the 8-bit Pro 3 software. So 30676 and 303. Wait, is that? Sorry, one sec. 30676. Okay, so you actually want to take that number, 30676, or whatever number you're picking for your seed. You want to take that number and you want to subtract 309 from it. Initially. 30286. And then you want to save. And then basically your macro is set up now, so you'll disconnect your Pro controller, your 8-bit Do Pro controller from your device, and then you will set up for whatever profile you had for your 8-bit Do Pro controller. You want to turn that on. So, sorry. For those of you who are not familiar with the 8-bit Do Pro 3 controller, I'll put it back on. So, you can't really see it right now because of the way I have my capture card placed. I'm going to move it here. So, in the middle here, in the middle of the controller there, you can kind of see a button. That's how you control your profiles for the RNG. Or not for the RNG, but that's how you control your profiles for placing your macros. And so for me, I put it in profile 1. It's the only profile I have for RNG macros. I deleted everything else I've had since I don't really play ZA anymore. I had like resets for Sproky and things like that in there. But anyway, let's get to actually what you're here for. We're gonna actually do a run. And so we pasted everything into our 8-bit Do controller. We're gonna disconnect it. I've got it set to profile 1, and I've already got the game booted up and ready to go. And so next up, we'll just start we're gonna start our macro. You're gonna have to get used to watching the intro here quite a bit when you're doing shiny hunts for the starters. It's just kind of part of the game. You're gonna have to watch the entire intro, and like Amoglissy says, you have to be a polite, patient person and wait. Not bad. And that wasn't super fast because remember we chose a pretty short framework. We did 113, which is not usually recommended according to the usual way. But since we're using macros, it's a computer. It's going to do it for you. You can press as fast as you need to. So we're going to check this out, and if we're lucky, this first one's shiny. I'm going to save on the nickname for now, just to save time for the video. Docile, not shiny. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go into 10 lines. You're going to adjust. So we have docile. We're going to change the shininess to any. Change it to docile. Go to male, and then put in its level first. And then the stats, 20, 11, 11, 12, 12, 10. And we'll see what we get. Alright, so we got a bunch of numbers. I'm going to actually bring my seed range back down to plus or minus 10. Let's see. Oh wow, we're really far off there. There's way more. Oh yeah, we have to change our range. So, back to what we had before. We want 13, 13 as our goal for the range. So put that in max and min. And then we want to change this by plus and minus 110. So 13, 13 plus or minus 110 is 1203. And then 13, 13 plus 110 is 1423. 1423. That should give us more results, or less results now. And so now you can see we are about, I wonder why it says we're so far off on the milliseconds. 101 milliseconds early. So I'm going to change that in OBS. You're going to have to tweak these numbers as much as you can. So just remember that each frame, each advance, each seed are about 16 to 17 milliseconds apart. So that's how you're going to adjust your numbers in the 8-bit Do Pro software. So I'm going to connect it back to the software, go in there, and we'll adjust our numbers. I'm going to put it back to what I had originally, just because that was the original calculation I did for this run, and then I decided to record it. So I think I had it at 30367. 30367, And then we were, if I go back to the 10 lines, it says 118. That means we were about, so 118 minus 113. And then you multiply that number by 7. That's about 35. So you'll want to change that. You want to change the fourth number again by about 35. So 1392 minus 35 is 1357. And then we'll turn it off and start it again. Now again, the numbers are a little fickle. You're gonna have to play around with them yourself to kind of figure out what exactly it needs. But for the most part, you should be able to remember that each seed is around 17 to 16 milliseconds. So if you are above what you need, you're going to add. If you're late on the seed, you're going to subtract the number. If you're early on a seed, you're going to add whatever number you need based on that 16 to 17 milliseconds. If that's too much, sometimes I like to have that and I'll do like 8 each time. That makes it go a little bit better with not overshooting or undershooting. And next up, we'll check this Squirtle, or Bulbasaur, sorry. I was doing Squirtle hunts earlier, so it's stuck in my head. Oh, we got a female this time. Not shiny, but she's brave. So we're gonna go to 10 lines again, change nature to brave, change gender to female, put our IVs in the calculator. 20, 11, 11, 11, 11, 8. That's a lot of 11s, girl. Okay, so now we're on seed, and we are still 3 frames ahead. So remember, plus or minus 17 to 16 for each frame. That's reading at 3 ahead of what we want. Remember, we want 113 and 1313. So since we're 3 ahead, that's times 7, that's 21. So we'll go ahead, we'll reconnect our 8BitDo Pro 3 controller back to the software. Open up the profile. You can't, sorry, it's being blocked, but you open up your profile. And sometimes this happens. You get crazy work. Like, you see all those extra symbols that I did not put in before? That's totally normal to happen. I wish it didn't happen, but it's a totally normal thing. So all you're going to do is back out. Don't save anything. Just back out, back out, back out. Go all the way back to home. Open up the profiles again from the switch, and then it should have fixed itself. There you go. Math. What numbers were I doing? Oh yeah, changing it by 21. So 1357 minus 21. It's going to be 1336. And we restart, or we disconnect the controller, and we do the run again. Also, I should add that when you're doing this, for any other like seeds that aren't mine, obviously you want to work with whatever you have in front of you. This method will not work if you're continuing screen frames are going to convert to longer than 50,000 milliseconds. Okay, so that's like capping out at a max of around 2,986 continuing screen frames. So anything more than that won't work with this method. And that's because the cap for the 8-bit Pro 3 macro software, as far as I'm aware, is 50,000 milliseconds. Also, if you end up on your seed, do not adjust it. If you're like within 16 to 17 milliseconds of your seed, I still wouldn't adjust it. If you're still consistently not hitting the target seed, then you can go ahead and adjust it for like that 8 to 16 to 17 milliseconds. But for the most part, I would leave it alone. You may need to alter when you're booting the game from the home screen a little bit better, because that can affect your frames as well. If that doesn't work, you can go ahead and calibrate. Another female. Interesting. I'm aiming for a male, so I don't know why they keep coming up female. But females are good because, as Amalyssi mentioned in their video, females are a little bit more rare, so they can help reduce your false positives. She was hasty, so I'm going to put in hasty. Hasty, 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 hasty. Okay. 5, 20, 11, 9, 11, 12, 11. Yeah, so see, now it's saying I'm off seed when I was on seed before. I'm not going to change that. Looks like I'm 1 ahead, so about 17 to 16 milliseconds off of what I need to be for my target. I don't know if I trust that necessarily. The switch is like they mentioned in their video, Amalyssi mentioned anyway. You can get a little bit weird numbers from this. So instead of, I'm gonna actually double that. So I'm gonna go from 1336 down to, let's see, we'll subtract 30 from that, and so we'll be about 1300. We'll subtract 34 from it actually. So that brings us down to 1302. We'll see. I'm doubling it just because it adjusted my seed and I don't want to adjust my seed number, and so I'm guessing because of based on where we were before and where we are now that it's probably more closer to 2 seeds off. So we'll see. We'll try again. So we'll turn the game off, boot it back up, and 3, 2, 1. Since we're getting close to the target seed and the continuing frames and the advances, I'm going to start nicknaming my Bulbasaurs just because I want to make sure it's nicknamed for me when I get it. If I get it, I should say. You never know. It's a potential secret ID, as they say, not your actual secret ID. And once again, we are letting the intro roll. And as you can see, we're getting all the button presses that we need to get to where we need to in the game, where we're saved in front of the starter. So this should work for any of the starters that you're trying to get, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, or Charmander. So long as you remember not to change any of the numbers except for the second number and the fourth number. And those are going to match up with your seed number, milliseconds, and your continuous screen frame advances, you're going to put an EonTimer to convert to milliseconds. I don't know if anybody's seen the show Black Clover, but there's a guy in there who uses something called World Tree Magic, and one of the trees he summons is called Mistletoe Tree. So I'm going to name my little Bulbasaur after a Mistletoe. Mistil... Is it T-E-I or T-I-N? I'm going to go with T-E-I. I prefer E except after C, but not in this case because of anime, I guess. Okay. Please be shiny. Please be shiny. Please be shiny. We got it! Let's go! Let's go! Serious? We are serious because you're serious. Let's go, Missile Time. We got the Charmander, or not the Charmander, the Bulbasaur. We made the Bulbasaur show up, guys. We did a successful RNG manipulation. That's awesome. Alright, let's check it out. So it's serious nature, 19. So we'll put that, we're going to take these stats and we're going to put them into 10 lines. So serious nature, so that way you guys can see that it's actually legit. Male, 19, 11, 10, 11, 12, 10. Submit. As you can see, we have two values here. One of them's the, well, it's the Bulbasaur we want, and then I don't know what this other one is. It's just some random value that got populated from somewhere. Yeah, it looks like its hidden power is poison, and it's got 23 IV in attack, 24 in special defense, and 23 in speed. That's not bad. Now, if we reset everything in 10 lines, you'll see that, like I mentioned before at the beginning of the video, I think, that all of these are going to be potential shiny encounters for you. So if you wanted to, you could reset and try to find a different shiny with the stats that you want. Why isn't it letting me do it? Okay, there we go. Yeah, so any of these could potentially be shiny for you. What? How do I change the, oh yeah, change the C back to 20 plus. There we go. So this turns out to be my secret ID, I guess. So any of these can be shiny for me. So if I want, I can change it up and get a female, or anything I want, really. Let's see. Any of these have better stats? This one down here has got decent defense, decent special attack, decent special defense, but speed's kind of low. Honestly, I don't want to have to go through any of this again. It was a lot of work having to do math, and I know, right? Math, such hard work. It wasn't even that much math. And then, yeah. So it's honestly, it's kind of a science, but it's also you're tinkering around with the values that you're getting with your 8-bit dough software here. So it just so happens that I was able to pull it off with the macros you can see here. So yeah, I would remember to take a screenshot of this, guys. This is the macro for hunting down starters in FireRed and LeafGreen on the Switch too. So remember to keep all the numbers the same except for the second number and the fourth number. Those are what you're going to be changing. The first number here is going to be your seed milliseconds. The fourth number is going to be your continuing screen frames, converted to advances, converted to milliseconds. That way you can put them into your Pro controller, 8-bit Pro 3 controller, or whatever 8-bit controller you have that can do macros. Or other macro controllers. I don't know if other macros out there exist besides 8-bit. That's just what I'm most familiar with. Yeah, so if you're still sticking around watching the video, I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. This is Gamer Domi, and I've had a blast. Thank you.